What's up, boys and girls? Corey James coming to you with another video. Let's get to it. So today I want to talk about the Ancient Alien Theory. This is a theory that's been around for quite some time now, and it all started with pretty much Eric von Daniken coming up with his theories about the gods of the ancient civilizations. And now, while I do not subscribe to everything the Ancient Alien Theorists have to say, because they do go pretty far out there sometimes, they do make some compelling arguments about artifacts and relics from the past that depict strange things. With ancient Mesopotamia, the Sumerians and their gods, the Anunnaki. This is a civilization that reigned about 5,000-6,000 years ago. They're known as the cradle of civilization, and it's also where we get our first written language, cuneiform. Now, when we read the ancient Sumerian text of their gods, the Anunnaki, descending from the heavens on flying discs, bringing the knowledge of the stars and the ability to build, and bringing with them the tree of life, we look at this tree of life and you have to ask yourself, is this really a tree? Or was this just the best word the Sumerians had to describe what they were seeing because they had never seen anything like it before? We look at the flying discs that these Anunnaki descended on, and they look very similar to modern day accounts of flying saucers. We look at the gods, the Anunnaki themselves, we notice they are much taller than the normal human being. Their garments, their facial feature, their appearance in general is completely different. Some have wings, some have bird heads, and they wield technology that the humans called holy or divine. One final interesting thing about the Sumerians and their gods, the Anunnaki, they did not call them gods. They called them kings. They called them lords. And the reign that these kings had over the Sumerians lasted for hundreds of thousands of years. And they have what's known as the King's List. And this is a chronicle of every king that ruled over the Sumerians. And you look at the lifespan and you look at the years, they go for 3, 4, 5, up to 600 years. Of course, I have my theories on this whole thing. What are yours? Let me know. Next, we take a small leap forward in time and we come to the ancient Egyptians. The first thing I want to look at is what they call the pre-dynastic period. They say it reigned from 5000 to about 3100 BC. And when I look at that time period, I find it interesting that it kind of correlates with the Mesopotamian culture. Could we be looking at the same culture? Because when you look at a lot of illustrations of the Egyptian gods, they look very similar to the Anunnaki gods. Much taller, bird heads, wings, different garments. And so you wonder if maybe we're looking at the same culture here. Now, scholars call this pre-dynastic period, a gradual progression of Egyptian civilization that turns into the, ancient civilization we know. And they base this on very, very few artifacts and relics from this period. And so they kind of just said, hey, we don't really have the answer. Let's just call it this. And it kind of ties in with basically what we get with Egypt as a whole. A lot of questions and a lot of, unanswered theories that unfortunately due to secrets and withheld information, we can't really come to a final conclusion, which leads to a lot of the crazy theories we have about ancient Egypt. We look at their hieroglyphs and some of the shit that they depicted. I mean, just quick example, we look at this slab that they found and we look at it, this looks like a freaking helicopter, a tank or a vehicle of some sort, a flying machine of some type. But we look to the left, we see a clear depiction of a bee or a wasp and a fish. So actual living beings next to these unidentified objects, you kind of wonder, what are we seeing here? And of course, I could go into the building of the pyramid and the Sphinx and all their other structures. These are stone tablets and slabs that weigh up to 50, 60, 70,000 plus tons. There's only so much you can do without the pulley system and copper freaking chisels. Which segues into a theory the ancient alien theorists have, and that's that the Egyptians had electricity. And they base this on some hieroglyphs and some illustrations that we see here of, I gotta be honest, what look like actual light bulbs. You see what looks like a modern day light bulb, a wire coming from behind, feeding into a power source. And then we see this other contraption right here that almost looks like what you screw a modern day light bulb into. Again, this is just my theory. This is just what I'm seeing with my own eyes. but it looks pretty interesting, guys. One of the best examples, some of the best evidence for ancient alien, theorists, I think, has to be Pumapunka in Tiwanaku. This place just screams holy shit to me, because when you look at this site as a whole, the blocks that are thrown around, the precision and just utter accuracy, these blocks were cut. I mean, we can only do this today with diamond tipped, saws and drills and using CNC machines. This is unreal to me. This is cuts within cuts within cuts in blocks, these H blocks that everybody talks about. I mean, this one actually really does blow me away. And like all the other civilizations, it's no different with the Pumapunka. Their story of their creator god, Viracocha, coming down from the stars, creating mankind, it's exactly the same. And the depictions of their god look, again, eerily similar to other ancient cultures. When we look at the central courtyard at Pumapunka, we see, various carved heads within the wall. And when you look at some of these heads, they don't look human, or, at least they don't look like the humans of that time and that geographical area. So again, it asks the questions: who are they interacting with? How were they building these things? And what happened to Pumapunka? So that concludes our lesson for today, boys and girls. I really hope you enjoyed the video. But more important, I really hope I can bring you more videos, more in-depth, more interesting, entertaining videos. If you liked what you saw, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments, let me know what I did well, what I could do better. And you know what, man, I really hope to see you guys again. Until the next time, I'm Corey James. You guys take it easy.